Been live for 35 seconds. Obviously, people see, hey, Talissa, what are you up for? For a morning feed or a late night feed? Hey, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning here, but I felt like coming on to live. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come on, girl. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna come on. My dog is barking in the room. I need to get my dad. I'm gonna get my dad to kick him out because it's like my son's in there sleeping. She's cluster feeding. I almost forgot about that. Cluster feeding. How old is she again? Give me a second. Dad? I don't know what the hell this dog is barking at because nobody's out there. It's getting really annoying because my son's trying to sleep in there. 3 weeks. Okay. Hi, Ty. Stop! Sorry. He's just barking like crazy. He's just barking for no reason. He's just being stupid. I highly doubt there's a bad vibe. It's because he hears me out here and he's wondering who I'm talking to. Hey, Lamar. Like, he hears me talking, so he doesn't know who I'm talking to. And my friend was just here, so he's kind of like, okay, who's here? You know what I mean? But it's so annoying. He won't stop. Yeah. My friend was just here and she left not too long ago. And then, like, he hears me talking out here, so he's assuming somebody's over the house. So that's why he's, like, running around to see who's here. See, now he's, like, running around and he's fine. But what annoys me is that he's going to wake up my son, and it's hard to get my son to go back to sleep once he's up. It's just like, oh, God. So that's what I'm trying to avoid right now. Yeah. Okay, so how's everyone's how's sound for everyone? Can everyone hear me just fine? How's everybody's Mercury retrograde been going? Mine's been interesting. How about yours? Says yes. Okay. Let me see. My phone is kind of weird and busted, so I have a hard time really seeing the text and what people are saying. My emotions. Ditto. My emotions, and I had somebody that I used to talk to come back into my life or I didn't know who they were at first. At first I was like, who is this? Because like I've taken some numbers on my phone and changed my phone around and everything. So I was like, who the hell is this? And then I looked into my phone and I seen who it was, and I was just like, here we go, Mercury retrograde. Just knew it. Just knew it. So yeah. Stressful. Okay, so do explain. Explain to me what are things that you yeah. Explain to me what you've been feeling lately during the Mercury retrograde, and let me know how you've been dealing with it. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about the whole Biden thing. I don't know why. I don't like Tiffany Haddish. I don't like her. She annoys the heck out of me. Yeah, people's energies are very erratic right now. Just very, very erratic. I'm not gonna lie, like I've had to kind of balance my energy a bit too, just how it's been. You know what I mean? This has been dealing with a lot of. Yeah, I believe so. It's funny you said that. Cause I felt that I'm like Beyonce wouldn't make her get away with saying that much. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. This is Beyonce. She would not let her get away with saying that much about her, especially in a private setting. But it's like Tiffany, she's annoying. I just feel like Tiffany is just like she's too enough. Like she talks too much and like she just overdoes things. Like you know what I mean? She just acts like a person that hasn't been no. I don't know what it is, and you know what? I sound so petty right now because I don't dislike people for pettiness. You know what I mean? Like I'm hearing myself talking. I'm like I feel like I'm being so damn petty. Like poor girl. Like let me give her a chance. But I don't know what it is. There's something about her spirit I don't like. I just don't. My spirit doesn't take it. I don't think she's a malicious person. You know what I mean? I just think she's just too much. Like she just needs to calm down. We get it. You never been to Hollywood before. Like you're still getting used to the fame and everything. But stop trying to act like a untamed child that is like just for the first time has been to a fancy place. Like just chill out. Yeah, like I can't explain it. Like, cause it's like I'm not. It takes a lot for me to like not like a person or be annoyed by a person. Like especially when she hasn't really done anything to really make me feel like I don't like the chick. You know what I'm saying? Hollywood, yeah. And she's so willing and eager. Like she's the kind of person that she would get into Hollywood and anything that Beyonce would say to her, these people say to her, will be like gold, just because they're famous, not realizing that you're rubbing shoulders with these people. They're gonna treat you just the same as anybody else. They'll snake you, like they'll use you for their benefit. Yeah, like you can't come into that industry and think everyone's your friend. You just can't. Yeah, because Beyonce knows. Beyonce knows that her time. It's not that her time is up, but she's getting into that like renaissance stage. You know what I mean? Like she's getting to that stage that in her not in her career, but she knows within the next 5 years she's gonna have that career where it's like she'll be a legend, but doesn't mean that she's exactly gonna be relevant because all these new artists are coming in that are taking space for the fresh and the new. You know what I mean? So she's playing it smart. Hold on. What does that have to say? Hold on. This says, I've heard some people say that Blue Ivy is transgender. Is this true? I don't know about her being transgender, but I don't know how these Illuminati, like, children sacrifice things go. Like, I usually don't like to get into that kind of stuff on my channel because I don't want to come off as, like, being a conspiracy theorist or, like, things like that. Like, you know, I kind of want to keep things, like, neutral. But I don't think she's transgender. I definitely feel like she holds a lot of feminine and masculine, and she has a duality to her. But I'm not sure about her actually being a transgender. I don't think so. If anything, like, and this is just my opinion, and like if she was born a boy, I definitely think that Beyonce would probably rather prefer that she had a boy for Jay first. You know what I mean? You know how that line goes, like the boys first and whatever comes second. But is this so strange that you never see the twins? But at the same time, you know, it's Hollywood. At the end of the day, it's all about mystery and, you know, and individuality and protecting thyself. So I'm sitting right here, but I think I'm gonna move my seat. I don't see anyone talking. This Mercury retrograde is something else. Especially last week was intense. Like I got hit by the shadow period. The shadow. I always get hit in the shadow period. Like when it comes to electronics, shadow period is when things start messing up. And then like I usually go to like one or two things. You know what I mean? And then it's cool. But like this retrograde is like every week it's something. It's like what the heck? This one's pretty intense. I haven't noticed a lot of deaths. No, I haven't noticed them. I think that I don't say that it's. I wouldn't necessarily for me. I don't necessarily say your moon sign is more relevant than your sun sign. I say like your rising says a whole lot about how you present yourself to the world. So it's like in the forefront for me. It's like lays a foundation for your sun, and then your moon is like the background, like the foundation. You know what I mean? I think I just used foundation twice. Yeah, like my Sagittarius rising is so strong. Like I'm very like when people like when I look at things about Sagittarius, like I resonate with it a lot. Like but my personality and how I deal with things. But my inner core is very Scorpio. And then my moon's in Leo, which that's like the basis of who I am. It's like literally the perfect blend of who I am. Like that's how I feel like how each sign kind of works itself within my personality and my essence. Has anybody had anybody come back from the past during this retrograde? Oh my gosh. First, it was like the first day of retrograde. Hold on, let me just move because I feel like sitting down. um, First day of Mercury retrograde was like I had an issue with with payment. First I had a situation with a client where their bank must have stated that they sent an unauthorized payment to me. It was like crazy. Okay, like I'm trying to cut it short. So the bank was like, okay, so that day, which sucked, is that I took all my money out of my PayPal because usually I don't take all my money out. I usually leave stuff in there, something in there. But this day I took it all out because I needed it for something. So I was like, okay, I took it out and I only left $40 in my account. You know? So your ex, yeah, not yet, Laura. Yeah, so that I left $40 in my account. So I was coming home from getting some stuff, was taking an Uber home. And then when I was coming home, I always get an Uber from my mom every single night because my mom is like an older woman. You know what I mean? I don't like her taking the bus or subway by herself. So I always pay for her to take an Uber. Just gives me peace of mind that, she's safe. She's in a car. She's going to work. She's fine. So as soon as I come home to order this Uber, it's not going through. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why is it not going through? I know I have money in there. Like, this is not right. So first I go to my bank account. I see my balance. And I'm like, what in the fuck? Yeah, I'm like, what in the frig? I'm like, why is my balance at like $4.50, So what ended up happening is that obviously my mom needed to go to work. She was going to be late. So I had to get a cab. Now cabs in Toronto are not cheap. So I had to pay like 50 something for a cab. Then on top of that, the money was taken out while I was in that Uber. So the last Uber I took was not paid for, which left me with having to pay an additional $20. Plus I had a couple bills coming out too that I had to pay for. So it just fucked my whole shit up. But it got fixed and she kindly, generously, like not only paid the money that was taken out of my account, but even the damages and then some. So it worked out. Then I think it was like this past weekend, I knew something was gonna happen. I wanted to get a septum, but I wanted to get something a little small one that was gonna look cute, like with my nose ring. So I was gonna get a septum done, and I knew I'm like, yo, Mercury retrograde's probably gonna fucking caught my steez tonight because I just know. I just have this feeling like it's kind of spontaneous, and spontaneous is not good for Mercury retrograde. So I leave the house, right, and I'm like, I get into an Uber pool, and usually when I get an Uber pool, yeah, it picks up people, but not that much. Literally, the place I left my house at like 7:45. It's not that far from my house, maybe like 20 minutes, not even. I left my house at 7:45, and I had to be there by 8:30 because after 8:30 they don't take any clients. But it worked out because my brother was meeting up with me downtown. So he lives already downtown, so he got there before I did. And then he reserved a place. So I get there, they didn't have any rings for me to do a septum, which probably worked out like at the end of the day. It was actually probably better for me anyways. So I went there and I end up my belly button ring. I took it out when I had my son. I just went end up getting that redone, you know. So like it's like for everything that like went wrong, like it was always like we're punished for something better. And then I went to this restaurant and then they fucked up our orders and stuff like that because we're using laptops to order our stuff, and they messed everything up, and then I end up getting like 50% off of my bill. So like it was like where there was an inconvenience, I always could look at it like it was like silver linings. Like, okay, yeah, this sucked, but at least I got this, you know? And then the most recent thing that just happened, somebody from the past that I like disassociated myself with, has recently contacted me, which I didn't even know it was them at first. I was like, holy crap, like who the hell is this? Because I'm like, I've had my phone for so many years, so I was like, okay, who's this? And I realized who it was. I was like, whoa. Because they were like, it was weird. Like that day, the day of, they were burning through my mind. Like yesterday, they were just on my mind like crazy, and I was like, okay, what the hell is this? And then when I see, because I'm away, like I have a very sensitive field. So when people are thinking about me, I know. Because if I start thinking about them heavily, I'm like, they must be thinking about me. Because usually on a regular day, I would not think about them this heavily. So it was a confirmation, and I was like, because like that person was going by my house. I guess they were in my area, and they're like, oh, I was in your area, and I was thinking about coming to see you. And I was like, huh? I'm like, okay, that's probably why I was thinking about you that hard, you know? So like that's how retrograde's been doing me so far. But I never usually have this much events happen during the retrograde. Like retrogrades for me usually like 1 or 2 things will happen. Like nothing serious. Like literally every fucking week I'm getting hit. This one's like really hard. Okay, let me look at the messages because I've been rambling. Hold on. I had a friend who is a friend in my life. I kept it in the background, but lately I've been reached out. Baby bored. Yeah. Yeah, but that is Mercury retrograde. Like usually, like it's like you feel to reach out to somebody either through boredom or maybe even sometimes retrograde kind of brings, because like even though the retrograde can be very inconvenient, it's still good at the same time because it does bring up old things that need to be cleared out and healed. So it's always a really good time to like heal and stuff, and like it's a really good time to be creative. Like this retrograde, it's weird. I've been drawing a lot, which I'm like, I haven't drawn anything in years, but I've been drawing things and like planning things out, like kind of like, you know, it's a good time for that. So like even though retrograde has its ways where like technology, communication, all those things are not the most favorable, at the same time, it's a really good time to heal. It is, I swear. Like I've been going through, because also like you have to understand, Mercury is ruled under like air, right? So it deals with like the mental, it deals with technology, deals with communication, everything. So there's a lot of things that were going on in my mental that like I guess I buried and I wasn't allowing myself to really like deal with. And like they came in really heavy, and I noticed I got a chance to really like speak things off my chest, and when I did, I felt so much better. Yeah, and oh my gosh, Mercury retrograde is just not kind to Geminis at all. I find like people that are Geminis that in this Mercury retrograde, they get hit hard. It is so important. It is. Like I always tell people, like there's so much people that are out there that they actually they're either scared or they don't like the maintenance of having to really like look after themselves. And you have to realize that it's like forever long that God blesses you with this body that you have. This is a life, you're going to be living life through this makeup. So take the best care of it as you can while on earth. So there's no such thing as time, maintenance, or labor when it really comes to taking care of yourself. You deserve to give yourself that much love, you know? The lighting here is so whack. Hey, real Malika. The Gemini? We'll talk about that. Not necessarily. I will do a candle. Like, I used to do protection candles for Mercury retrograde, but like, to be honest, I kind of stopped doing stuff for Mercury retrograde. Just because I feel like it's like, why avoid it? Just make everything flow the way it needs to flow. I just put out there like there's certain things I don't want to get messed up, but sometimes the energy just needs to flow the way it needs to flow. But I used to know this girl that used to sell Mercury retrograde oil, and I used to do candles with that. I was like, I actually now that I think about it, I don't even know that shit worked. It didn't even really work. How can we know if a person is? Hold on, let's see. What did I say? My screen's all messed up, guys. So, how can you know if a person is a reflection of self? What's it? Yeah, I love rose quartz. I think we'll get the. Okay. I'm gonna answer that question is how do you know if somebody's a reflection of yourself or if there's no lesson? That's kind of a weird question. The way that I would answer that is that I feel that a lot of people that are lessons are a reflection of yourself or an aspect of yourself that needs to be confronted. So I would say that it would be a combination of both. Oh, if you lost it, that means that you need a new one. Anytime I lose stones, I always look at it as okay, like I used it up, I need a new one. Or a repair when I need it. Yeah. Ow. Sorry, my belly button, it hurts. My son keeps on grabbing it. By the way, my son's gonna be 1 next month. It's so crazy. Time goes by fast. They did say like enjoy it because they grow really fast. It's like, yeah, I know a year goes by fast, but it really does go by really fast. So any advice to you, Talissa, like, yeah, enjoy every single moment. Take a bunch of pictures. Okay, Ty, have a good night. So I'm going to do a bit of a Q&A. So if anyone has any questions to ask me, doesn't necessarily have to be a psychic question. You just ask me so that you can get to know me, feel more comfortable about me, or with me. Yeah, he's a Taurus. Or feel comfortable with me. You know, you guys can ask me. What's my favorite gemstone? Amethyst. Amethyst and malachite. Can I pick one? Malachite and amethyst are my two very favorite stones. They're like my go-tos. Like there's always, I will always have a piece of each. Malachite, because like I'm a spiritual sponge. I'm very empathic, so meaning I like to carry malachite just because it has really good properties when it comes to not absorbing other people's energy and protecting your own. Amethyst, just because when I channel, it makes my channel more easier. It makes it more cleaner stealth kind of reading. It's really good for protection, and amethyst always pulls you onto the right path. Oh my gosh. What are Mercury retrogrades don't? That's not a question about me. That's about the retrograde, but I'll answer it. Mercury retrograde don't. Don't purchase anything big. Don't start anything new or do any drastic or spontaneous anything during the retrograde. Be mindful of travel. Don't purchase anything that's like on the electronic without like finding out all the bells and whistles and everything of it first. This is not a good time to start a relationship either. Things like that. Plus, okay. Let's look ahead. Okay. Where do you purchase your crystals? God damn. I purchase my crystals at like local occult shops or like botanicas in Toronto. Or sometimes I just go online. Like I like to like try out different places and see like prices and where you get good stuff. How can you trust your intuition when anxiety kicks in? Well, that's a hard question. Because when you've worked your gift so long, it's like you almost forget what mechanic, like what parts and what chambers where you kind of pick up things. You just do things naturally. I think for myself, one thing that you need to do, or where I trust myself more when it comes to when my anxiety kicks in, is that I trust my channel. So meaning that I allow myself to really tap within myself deeply, especially into my gift and my channel, so that even though I'm anxious, or even if I'm not in exactly the most best of moods, that I'm always able to use that chamber to carry forth the message. So that's just how I do. I just access that part of myself. Like there's times where I've been going through I was going through some serious ass shit. And like I still managed to do my job. You know what I mean? And people wouldn't even know that I had anything going on with me. Any good websites you found? Okay, see, the question I wanted to ask you is messy. Okay, ask me a question. Yanto, if you would like to have that question answered, you could always book a reading with me. See, the question I want to ask you is messy. Okay, Sheree, ask me the question. I don't care. Oh, I'm not answering psychic question, guys. I'm doing a Q&A, like you can ask me questions about myself, but I'm not answering questions in the live chat. If you have any questions or concerns, you could always hit up my email and book a reading with me. People copy my reading? Do people actually copy my readings for real? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't notice because I don't watch anyone else. I really don't watch anyone else's readings. The only person I will look at their stuff is Lamar's. That's it. So, if you are copying me, I have no fucking clue. Who's been copying me? For my soul group. I'm not exactly familiar with that term. Soul group. Please explain. I guess I've met people from my soul group. That's what I'm saying to them. I don't know because I don't watch anybody else. I try not to watch, I don't watch anyone else just because I don't want whatever anyone sees to affect my readings. Like, I don't want it to be a situation where I watch their thing and just because I feel I agree with them, that I'm going to say the same thing. No, I want spirit to do all the talking. I come up here, I make them do all the talking, and I just do it. That's why I don't watch other people's stuff. Who's copying me? I want to know. Yes, I want to know. I want to know who's copying me because I really don't know. Nice. I wonder what the black is for. God damn. I wonder what black means in somebody's aura. I want to know. I'm so surprised. Like, I listen. People could copy and steal from me. I would have no clue if no one had told me. Just because I don't watch people like that. Oh, okay. I was like, whew. How do you process or discern dreams, knowing between prophetic and nightmares? Oh gosh, that's a good one. Um, you know what? I'm gonna say you just never know. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say I just never know. Usually I ask like a trusted friend, somebody that like I like, and that I know I could trust. That not like, but I mean somebody that I know is really good at readings, and I will get them to interpret it. But a lot of times when dreams were prophetic, like some of them, like I knew right away, like that was just a scene into the future, and some of them leave me confused. So you just, it's like I really don't know. But always, I always say, always pay attention to symbolism, and usually by the next, within the 2 weeks of you having the dream, like whatever symbolism that you pulled out of that dream, definitely you'll be able to confirm if it was actually a prophetic or just a symbolic dream or not. Do you have a journal? No, I don't. I know. Just as I was saying that, it's funny. I was just saying to myself, I'm like, I need to watch my dreams down more. I need to write my dreams a lot more down because I don't. I've been having some crazy dreams, but sometimes they're all based out of my fear. Or sometimes, like, say, like if I'm doing like if I'm doing candle work or I'm trying to find out something, then I'll have like a crazy dream, and then I'll be like, oh, okay. Like one time, story time. Okay, so one time I was doing a candle work, and I was doing candle work for somebody, and I knew that whatever was being done to them, they had like an injury or something, right? And I had a strong feeling that it was inflicted. Like it was meaning like it wasn't like a natural accident or something like that. I felt like, somebody had given them bad juju. So I did a spell. I did some candle work to find out who was it. And then when I did it, when I did something to find out or look into it to find out like what's going on, because like now I'm extra careful. I had this whole dream, but it played out if it was me. So I was like scared. I was like, oh my gosh, somebody's gonna try to do something to me, whatever. I was like so nervous. But really, literally, as I woke up and a couple of days passed and I was like thinking about it, I was like, oh no, they actually really just told me how it was done. You know what I mean? Or, it was how it was done to that person, and it made perfect sense. And then like a part of me was like, yeah, like I was scared, like I was kind of nervous, but then I was like, oh no, like I found out all this stuff, like like so. Sometimes it's like you can find things like you get dreams and you don't exactly know what they mean until like a couple weeks later come by and you're like, oh yeah, no, that's what happened. Yes, they are. But I've been dreaming a lot lately. I never used to dream much before at all. Like there was a good like 2 years, 2.5 years I was barely dreaming. But now that since I became a mother, I dream a lot. And also I get a lot of visions. Like I get visions more now that I'm a mom. And I just know shit. It's just weird. Like I don't even read it, but it's just weird. Like I just like, oh, that's there. Like before my loss of found has gotten like just like top notch. I think it comes with a mom code or something. When you lose something and it's like, nope, it's right there. I don't like this lighting. How do I deal with something I don't like? See, I kind of have the blessing that I work for myself and I work from home. So like people I don't like just don't be in my realm. The only way they would not be in my realm was if they were in my goddamn house, and that's not happening. I don't know. I'm a Scorpio, so I have a way that I know how to shut people off. I feel like when you don't like somebody, like you need to like pull back your cords, your extensions that connect to that person, and literally bring down your energy and just put a bubble around them so that you don't even feel them. That's what I usually do to people. So they could come in the room and it does nothing to me because I've literally put them into like myself into a shield, put them into a shield. So I can't feel their energies for my energy to be so provoked. Well, we all have a natural gift, right? So obviously people have gifts that are much profounder than others. And that's pretty much it. But we all have a gift. So I would imagine that I even had this discussion in my last video. Like nobody that watches shit like this, I don't care who you are, if you don't really know yourself, nobody that watches shit or resonates or is open to anything that has to do with esoteric studies or anything like that have absolutely nothing. They all there's something that your soul recognizes. There's something that is going on within your, like what's being displayed before you that you know you connect to. So, and I feel like not anyone that I've ever met that's been interested in this don't have anything. They always have a little something. It all depends on if they decide to open it or not. Hi, Star Blue. Hello, darling. Malika. I swear I know Malika. Yeah. Everybody. Like, yes, we're, like, of course, there's, like, people like me, Lamar, Amber, that we use ours a little bit more. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, doesn't mean you don't have nothing. It's cutting a umbilical cord, yeah. Of course. Who's my celebrity crush? See, people are asking me questions. I'm important. Who's my celebrity crush? Oh my gosh, this is hard. You guys are gonna laugh at me. Taylor Hanson. Because I know who you are, Malika. I definitely know who you are. I was like, oh, it's Malika. Yeah, I know that girl. Taylor Hanson. I'll go with Taylor Hanson. Good night. Night. Get as much sleep as you can, girl. Trust me. Oh. Rico. Yes, I know. No one cares to ask me no question. No one cares to know about me. They just want me to read them. Joking. I was just sitting there. I'm like, I'm actually a dope chick, guys. You guys can get to know me. I'm alright. I'm not this. I don't live on this mystical cloud where everything's all purple and silver here, and I carry around Archangel Michael's sword when I'm bored. Like, Do you travel out of Canada much? I do. The last time I was outside of Canada was October. I went to Jamaica, and I will be going or coming to New York fairly soon. So anybody that is a follower of mine or a viewer of mine, I'll put up when I'm coming to New York, and we can meet up. And we could powwow and do a meditation. Actually, that sounds like a fucking good idea now that I think about it. We could, go to, Central Park and do, a group meditation. That would be my meetup. Do you believe Cardi is pregnant? Was it good decision? I did predict that Cardi was pregnant. I seen it, and I predicted that she was pregnant, and I was like, what the hell? I hope not. I'm not going to sit there and say that it's a bad decision because I feel like no matter what, she's going to be able to keep some relevance still. But at the same time, I get the sense that, I don't know, it's still kind of early. It depends on what kind of career she wants because it's not like Cardi is necessarily trying to strive for Beyonce status. And she can get there, but she's not trying to strive for that status. So it all depends on what she wants. If she just wants to be a relevant artist, be able to tour, make music or whatever, and just be whatever, then, At the end of the day, then the timeline's not off. But if you're really trying to be really diligent of being somewhere, then it's kind of off. But you can never mess with God's plan, right? Yeah, we definitely. Yes, Sheree, I will have you. I gladly take you in. Who you talk to the most? Um, in the spirit realm, um, I like talking to angels. I love connecting to my angels. I love connecting to people I've passed on. To be honest, I spend a lot of time talking to God more nowadays. I just talk to God. I spend my time with the Lord. Like literally, like I'm building a relationship with Him, which is something. I've had it before. It's not like I've never been to church. None of that. I've always believed in God, but I feel like this stage of my life, there's a relationship, there's an understanding, there's a connection that I have with the Lord that's so profound that I've never felt it on this level before. Oh my gosh, that is a good question, Amber. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't always tell people right away. Before I used to, before I would end up saying, they're like, okay, so what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a spiritual advisor. And I go, spiritual advisor, like, what does that mean? And I'm like, oh, I'm a clairvoyant medium. We already know they don't know those terms. I'm like, yeah, I'm a psychic. And they're like, for real? I'm like, yeah. So you do that for a living? Yep. Like, that's what you do? Yeah. Oh. And then you kind of feel like the connection kind of dwindle, which is not a big deal for me. I'm like, okay, whatever. But lately, I found myself that I don't really tell them what I do right away. Like, I kind of just leave it as, because and this is true, I am definitely, I am a publicist. I just don't work as a publicist anymore. But I tell them that I do like PR and, I work in the industry and stuff like that. Can I read myself? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It never makes sense, but I get messages for myself. Usually if it's something deep or if I'm going to a different stage or whatever, there's certain impressions I get that are going to happen for myself, but I can't necessarily read myself, no. To be honest, I wouldn't want to. Like, I'll feel stone cold crazy. If I could read myself, I would never learn anything. I'll be like, oh, well, it looks like I'm not going outside for a week. How do you date? It's funny because my friend told me to he got me to get on Bumble, which for me, like, if anyone doesn't know, like, I'm at a weird state in my life when it comes to dating. Me and my son's father are not together. We are co-parenting. But my son is still young, so I'm kind of weird with dating, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, my focus is my son, It's just a lot. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to spend so much time, like, investing so much in a person when I could be investing that time in my son and my business, What kind of music do you like? I listen to everything. Literally, I like everything. Back in high school, grade 9, I was actually a rocker. Like, I was literally, like, into the whole grunge, like, death metal scene, like, was goth, all that stuff. Like, it was, like, goth mixed with raver. That was me in 9th grade. I listened to literally everything. I even listened to, like, international music that I don't even know the language for. I will go online and literally Google lyrics just so I know what they're saying. But I listen to everything. I saw a question in Ria Malika. I actually don't really know a lot of psychics. Okay, I lied. My favorite psychic on YouTube is Lamar Townsend. That's it. There's one girl that I think she's pretty cool. I've watched a couple of her videos. I think her name is, she doesn't read on celebrities at all. She's more of a witch. Her name is Green Eye Witched. Yeah. Do I speak French? I speak petit peu, a little bit. I understand it like literally 100%. But when it comes to forming sentences, I suck. Um, but yeah, like there's one girl, woman, and her name is Green Eye Witch. So like if you're into like conjure and like understanding like conjure work and understanding spell work and working with orishas and all that stuff, like she's really good for that kind of stuff. Like she makes you really understand it. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I don't really do all that stuff anymore. Like I'm more like Christian. I'll call myself I like to say I'm a Christian spiritualist, but when it comes to like working with the Orishas and working with your spirits and your goons and your warriors, like she has a really good educated way of how she explains it. So if it comes to spiritual people on YouTube, Green Eye Witch is really somebody that you guys should check out. She's pretty cool. Yeah, I identify as a Christian spiritualist. Actually, that's where a lot of people, like in my ancestry, like especially back home, there's a lot of Christian spiritualists. So that's what I identify myself as. Hoping I'm doing it right. But yes, I am a Christian spiritualist. I'm not saying that magic is a bad force, but magic is like there's no such thing as good and bad, and you just don't you necessarily. Oh, okay, how can I say this? It's like there's no direction of really good and bad when it comes to magic. It's like it could be either or. It depends on what decides to come in. But at the same time, where magic can be an issue is that because it takes away from like okay, this is my mythology, guys. I'm gonna disclaim this, and not like I'm not telling you what to believe. This is just what I believe, right? I need to disclaim this first. I'm very big on supporting everyone's spiritual beliefs. But when it comes to magic, I feel like it's kind of an open form for anything to happen, whether it's dark or light, because you're just opening a portal. But I feel like where magic can get misconstrued or get misused is that sometimes when you have that power to do magic, you almost forget about that. You forget about free will and you forget about God's grace. So you get so caught up in the ego side of living rather than more the practical, spiritual, honoring side of living. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's all about balance. It's all about knowing what comes first and knowing what is most important. You know what I mean? So that's my mentality when it comes to magic. Like, there's people that literally do magic, and it's because they have a couple spells at work. They just think that like they're the shit. They think they run the world. You know what I mean? And it's like there's always a reverse to everything. Everything has a rippling effect. For everything that's put out there, it needs a backup. It's like you scratch your. There's always an energy exchange. You know what I mean? What made me go back to Christianity? Honestly, there's not really anything that made me go back. God called me back. God called me back to Christianity. I was in a very dark time in my life, and I was praying a lot because I needed God's guidance and help. And I will never forget, I was walking down the street and I just kept on, I don't even know if this is a song, but I kept on saying, I kept on singing, we worship you, and I could literally keep singing, God, we worship you, kept on singing it, and as I was singing it, I kept crying and crying, and that day, I was going to go to a church and pray, and I was going, usually I was just going to a Catholic church or something, and the reason why I go to Catholic church, because they kind of provide you the privacy. They don't bother you. You just kind of just go in there, do your thing, and leave. And I was walking, and I found a church, and I just stumbled upon this church, and I was just like, okay, let me walk in there. It was a Pentecostal church, so I was very hesitant at first. I was like, okay, I am a psychic. I do this for a living. Not only that, like I do witchcraft. you know, like it's not like I don't do dark stuff. Of course, I've always prided myself on not doing black magic, but I'm everything that you guys speak against. You know what I mean? And I just came in there and I could just feel God's presence in there. And on that day, I was going through like a lot of stuff that was not good around me. And they, like, the man said something. He said, like, the Lord's Prayer, whatever you say, to, like, proclaim your devotion to God, or you're not following him. And as soon as he said it, he snapped his fingers, and I felt this veil just come off of me. And then I just started, like, as soon as it happened, the woman beside me, like, broke into tongues. I just started bawling my eyes out, like, it was salvation, you know? And even at that time, I was still kind of like, because I never understood the concept, like, why only through Jesus Christ can we know you? You know, there's all these religions, there's all these people that speak. I'm not baptized yet, no. I would love to get baptized soon, but I'm not baptized yet. And I'm like, there's all these people that are out here that are speaking in your word and speaking in your name. You know, whether they call it Allah, whether they call it Buddha, whether they call it, you know, whatever. But it doesn't mean that we're not putting worship towards you. Like, why is Jesus Lord? I don't get it. Like, why only him? You know what I mean? And I was sitting in church, and I literally had a vision. And I saw Jesus Christ. He was short. He was a short man. And he was walking, and there was 12 disciples walking behind him through, like, Bethlehem. But you saw the vision. And then I see, like, a light come from the sky and shine on Jesus Christ. And I literally heard this, like if somebody came and told me, like, how I'm talking right now to you. And I heard, you know how I gifted you, it's like, you know how I gifted you with the gift of sight? It's the same way that I gifted Jesus, that only through him you will know me. And I was just like, all right, say no more. Jesus is Lord. Yeah, like literally, yeah, I was going through it. But before I even had my son, even before I had my son, I said a prayer to God. Like, you know, I was like, I just don't feel like we were close like we were. You know what I'm saying? Before, you know, like, but where I was with you, I don't feel you close. I want to feel you closer. Like, I want a relationship with you. I didn't understand what it meant, to what depth or what. I just wanted that with God. And then, boom, here I am now. And I'm telling you, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And God literally did save me. Salvation. Let me see. Oh, okay. Why can't I touch it? Hold on. Oopsie. So do you think somebody has a background? So do you think someone has a background that is Christian? I don't believe that. Like, okay, this is my whole thing. Okay? I just look at it as that my mission is to tell my inner truth and God's truth. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, even if I go to church, praise the Lord, do all these good things, a person that turns around and, say, for example, worships some golden statue in their room may have better chances of getting into heaven than me. It's all about virtue. I don't know. I'm not God to be the judge of that. But at the same time, I just know that God showed me that. And I can only follow my own testimony, and I can only share my testimony and share the message that God has given me. And whoever soul needs to be saved, or whoever God wants to touch, and if he uses me as a vessel to do that, then it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I could only share my own experience. And, you know, I don't want to be that person that is just because I know God's message and I've seen God's vision. And yes, I do pride myself on my accuracy and the things that I've been told. I don't want to ever be that person to tell them that they're doing wrong. God works in everyone in their own time. You know what I mean? Like, it took me 5 years, 6 years of being in this business to get to where I am right now with God. Like, he made me go through it all. Like, it could have just happened yesterday. How do I protect my mind from heavy readings? Grounding, and also grounding, not just that, I know how to disconnect myself. So, like, when I get off the call, like, I let your energy go. You know what I mean? Before, when I first started out, I didn't know how to do that. So a lot of times, like, I would be reading for somebody and say that person's, like, really anxious or have certain things, like, I would take that on and attach it to things that resonated with myself. So I would get anxious about things that I usually wouldn't get anxious about, until I think I learned when I got my first, not my first ever, but when I got a Reiki session and I seen how much I was attaching to people and how she explained to me what these attachments were, that I realized that, oh, I'm actually, like, keeping a cord there. I'm not letting it go. And then that's when I breathe in, breathe out, and just visualize their energy going with them. And when it goes with them, it's just like, okay, disconnected, and then it's back to my regular life. That's why I'm actually even very conscious about who I even associate with. Like, it's not even just like clients or readings; it's even friends. Because I have that aspect to me that I'm empathic too, right? That's one thing I'm trying to do, is quit smoking, but sometimes I just need it. Hold on, did I see the other comment? Hematite, yes, hematite. How do you protect? Okay. Can you see somebody's height and age too? I'm pretty good at. Yeah, I think I'm pretty decent at height. I'm pretty decent at height, and I'm pretty decent at age range. Sometimes I get it on the money. Sometimes I just get the range. But also, yeah, I could get the, yeah. I wouldn't say I'm not bad at height, bad at age. Oh, to be honest, based on my experience, I have to believe that I am naturally drawn to narcissists. Because, like, I have so many narcissists in my life. I've come across so many narcissists in my life that is actually ridiculous. Like, it's really bad. But at the same time, like, narcissists are broken people. Not like I'm, like, trying to take up for them, but how did you notice when I had a gift? I noticed I had a gift from very young. I would say from, like, 5, 6. I've always noticed that I had something, but I never really, like, acknowledged my gift to its fullest capacity until I was in my late teens, or mid to late teens, and I really didn't embrace it until I was in my 20s. We can't help it. Absolutely cannot. I'm working on that, personality-wise. Ooh, this is a good question. I'm still trying to figure out. Amber is a 100. That's my love. I'm still trying to figure this out. I think for me, I'm really strong on energy. Like, I have to feel at peace with you. Like, I have to feel that you're being your authentic self and I'm being my authentic self. So somebody that's really in touch with themselves is somebody that I would draw into. I like a person that's very ambitious, a person that is that has empathy, that understands where people come from. They don't only just think for themselves, they think for other people as well. I like somebody that's funny, and I do admire a strong personality, somebody that, like, just stands really strong in their own. Like, that's the kind of personality I like in a person. But I love a collection of so many different personalities. Oh, the sign that broke my heart the strongest was a Scorpio. A Scorpio. My own kind, my own people. Like literally, bro, my Scorpio. That Scorpio ruined me. That Scorpio made me not date for 7 years. That's how much they hurt me. Oh yeah. Yeah, it wasn't just. It wasn't even like what he did. It was the deceit. The deceit. It was like when you let somebody believe something for so long, and then you create an image of who this person is in your life. You know what I mean? And I allowed myself to be very dependent on that person. It wasn't like a financial thing really. It was more dependent, like as like you're the only thing in my life that I have that seems to be the purest out of all the muck I'm in. And literally I was like dancing with the devil and I didn't know. Like, you know what I mean? So when I found out the truth about this person and the circumstances that I was in, it was a trauma, like it was trauma for me. It caused me trauma. Like I literally suffered from PTSD because of it. Like that was I wouldn't put it all on him, but it was the camel that broke. It was the camel that broke. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. Oh my gosh. Okay, if my phone shuts off, it's gonna die. Why is it not charging? Hold on, guys. I'll be right back in just a second, okay? Oh gosh. I hate when my phone starts doing this. If my phone shuts off, I'll be right back.